As the Bitcoin trap finally snapped shut here, Bitcoin is back above $111,000. Are we back now? Bears were caught off guard, and now we have a massive change happening in China. A huge victory here for the US. Scott Bassett also talks about this in the interview, discussing what has changed in China and why that's relevant for the trade conflicts. Also, tomorrow is the first crypto and Bitcoin conference hosted by the US Central Bank. The lineup has just been released. We definitely need to take a look at it. I have to say, I'm shocked by some of the things going on here. But on the other hand, it's obviously a positive step that the US Central Bank is taking here. Before we take a look at all this, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you could smash the like button down below for higher Bitcoin prices, for new all-time highs. And as a little thank you, let's quickly give Satoshi Nakamoto a call. Here, 112. Watch out. Yo, hey Satoshi, what's up? When are you going to raise the Bitcoin prices? Okay, he says here, raising Bitcoin prices is coming soon. So guys, you heard it. Satoshi himself said it. We can see it now. Bitcoin is back above the $111,000 mark, which is definitely a positive sign for now. We also saw it earlier. This morning we still had short traders here, Hyperliquid, and Side a Whale, who had 100. Made 92 million in profits a few days ago, then went short here, and now, of course, got caught on the wrong foot, just like all the other short traders here. We also always need to keep in mind what the finance guy is saying here. The probability that the government will pay back the national debt is 0%. There is a 100% chance that the debt overload will cause Bitcoin and gold to keep rising. That's exactly what Satoshi just meant on the phone. I mean, yeah, we just have to see what the big governments are doing, what the states are doing. We'll also get to the central bank in a moment, because there will be a relevant event there tomorrow. But first, here's Will Clemente, who always has a very, very interesting market perspective. He gives a brief statement here about why the Bitcoin price might have been a bit weak lately. And he simply said, after some thought this weekend, I believe that Bitcoin's relative weakness over the past year was mainly due to the shift in supply from OGs to ThreadFi. As the on-chain data shows, for example, old holders who have been holding Bitcoin for a very, very long time have partially sold their Bitcoin. And then we simply saw the shift that these Bitcoins went to sale, to Metaplanet. Of course, also to BlackRock, or rather, to BlackRock's clients. And I've been telling you this for a long time. Don't sell your Bitcoin to the big players, to BlackRock and so on. And then later on, once they have all the Bitcoin. But as it looks, according to Will Clemente, it's mainly not the retail investors who caused this setback. Because retail is selling too, of course, but they obviously don't have as much Bitcoin as the OGs do. It's these OGs who have lost confidence here or are just sitting on such big gains that they wanted to take some profits here. But now let's take a look at what's happening here in the US. There's now a massive victory here for Scott Bassett and the US, and China is backing down in the trade conflict. And this could really be a game changer. We can see it here. China's top trading negotiator, Chen Geng, was removed from his post as permanent WTO representative. And that's a really, really big deal. And why is this such a big deal? He's basically being removed here as a trade negotiator or trade conflict negotiator, an important position in China. It's so important. Scott Bassett was just talking about all this. When was it? I don't know. A week ago or a few days ago. I'm not sure. In any case.
The A, B, and C, therefore, we had to do D. And that's not true. There was a lower level trade person who was slightly unhinged here in August. I think his name is Li Guangong, and he was threatening, saying that China would unleash chaos on the global system if the U.S. went ahead with our docking fees for Chinese ships. And this is clearly something that they were planning all along. I think that things can de-escalate, that we don't want to have to escalate. We have things that are more powerful than the rare earth export controls that the Chinese want to put on. And sir, to be clear, this is China versus the world. It's not a U.S.-China problem. Good news is that this is IMF week. A lot of my counterpart.
Okay, that's enough here. It gets better. That sets the tone. But here's something very, very important. He's also talking now specifically about the fact that there was a low-level official in the Chinese trade team. So there was someone who just didn't get it, who negotiated very, very poorly here, who was kind of looking for trouble, and probably wasn't interested in de-escalation. And it's exactly this Chen Geng who is now being removed. And that's why he demanded Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent has now gotten it here as well. But now we have to be careful, because there are reports going around right now that are super bullish. They're saying all tariffs would be removed now, and so on. Trump says no 500% tariffs on China. They are done. A trade deal is done. Of course, these are fake news. But still, the story that Scott Bassett is telling here is relevant. He also says it's not about the USA versus China, but rather that China is fighting against the world. But that's just the American perspective again. So, Kira, I don't know if they're really going up against the whole world now. I mean, they also know that it wouldn't be very smart to alienate the whole world and just start conflicts with everyone. As of now, we still have a meeting scheduled for October 31st. A meeting is planned with Trump and Xi Jinping, and that will probably be absolutely crucial for how things go with the markets, whether stability returns or if uncertainty continues to dominate. Then there was also the meeting with Trump and Zelensky. Now the Financial Times writes, Trump urged Zelensky to accept Putin's terms or be destroyed by Russia. So, he kind of escalated, went a bit off the rails. And yeah, I honestly don't know if that's necessarily particularly positive or negative, but the thing is, no one here is giving in. And so, for now, there probably won't be any easing of the situation, but rather, things will continue as they are. Tense situation. And now we're really moving from one big topic to the next, namely the Federal Reserve. Let me pull this up here. Federal Reserve to host Crypto Payment Innovation Conference tomorrow. So, it all kicks off tomorrow. The Crypto Innovation Conference. And it's going to be very much about Bitcoin, that's for sure. It's going to be about crypto. In my opinion, the biggest payment innovation is, of course, Bitcoin's peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And we're always super active here. We're always up to date, so make sure to hit the like button below so you don't miss out on what's happening here. And now we can actually see the lineup here, everything that's going to be discussed. First up, we see Christoph J. Waller, who, by the way, is being considered by Donald Trump as a potential successor to Jerome Powell, is giving the opening speech here. That's already a very, very good sign. It shows that he's probably open to Bitcoin and might even get Jerome Powell's position. That would, of course, be extremely bullish. But I was also a bit disappointed when we just look at who all is involved here. We also see a whole bunch of shitcoin people here as well. For example, what's Chainlink doing here? What are all these Web3 things doing here? Yeah, weird. So, with a few people, I was honestly really surprised. I mean, there were also some well-known names like, for example, Kathy Wood from ARK Invest, or here, the BlackRock COO, Franklin Templeton, basically, big asset managers. We also have Treasury Service here as well, so it's definitely interesting. The topics here are stablecoins, bridging traditional finance with the digital asset ecosystem. So, what else do we have here? AI and payments, so how AI contributes to this. And strangely enough, Bitcoin isn't mentioned anywhere on the agenda. It only says digital assets and traditional finance here, at most stablecoins. So I really hope it doesn't turn into a shitshow later, where it's just about stablecoins and that kind of stuff. And then it also came out that on Wednesday there are supposed to be discussion rounds here with the Democrats, so pro-democratic senators will be participating to get the legislation on market structure underway. And we've got the same shitshow going on here. There was also a lot of criticism. What is Chainlink doing here? What is Uniswap doing here? What is Solana doing here? What is Ripple doing here? What are they doing here? We've seen it so many times in the past that people got their hopes up. Like, wow, now there's this and that happening with Bitcoin and so on. And then it just turned into a crypto shitshow. On the other hand, the one who's really doing a great job here is, of course, 21 Bitcoin. This is really something legendary right here. The first pilot project for an institutional Bitcoin lending program has been launched here. And this is a really big deal. We need to take a quick look at this. Pioneering work in the European market. Our goal is to make Bitcoin both accessible and usable for everyone. Together with our strong partners, we are developing Europe's first institutional, competitive Bitcoin loan product, secure, transparent, and for people in Europe, explains Daniel Winkler. So that means, if you buy Bitcoin now with 21 Bitcoin, of course, it's not rolled out yet, it's still in preparation, then in the future you will be able to use that Bitcoin as collateral, as security. Take out a loan against it, and then, for example, you could buy more Bitcoin or you could spend the money and, I don't know, buy melons or something like that. And that's a really important thing. Michael Saylor also said that for a $10 million Bitcoin price, you need three things. Fair value accounting, Bitcoin ETFs, and you need banks to offer Bitcoin-backed loans. And that's exactly what 21 Bitcoin is doing now. And that's why I'm such a big fan of 21 Bitcoin. And that's why, for you guys, if you sign up with 21 Bitcoin, there's a link to 21 Bitcoin below. You can get up to 20% off the fees when buying Bitcoin if you use the code Bitcoin Hotel here. So, it's an absolute recommendation. Definitely check it out. And in the future, there will be even more cool features coming. I've already heard about one or two other cool things that are supposed to happen here. So, folks, let me know down in the comments how you see the whole situation right now. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? See you next time. See you then. Peace.